Good morning, everybody. It looks like I'm live this morning. We got a cup of coffee. That one's a little strong. Let's see who's in here. Cindy, uh, you're losing your home in 20 years or 27 years. Uh, what happened? You've certainly got my prayers and best wishes, Cindy. I hope you're able to get things done. Noreen, good morning to you too. Bearded, see you in here. Tammy, good morning to all of you. I'm actually here. Yesterday, day before yesterday, before I got off, I said that I wasn't going to be able to make it on here yesterday morning because I was going to take a neighbor to a doctor's appointment. It was in the morning, and it was in a town that's 80 miles away, and so that's why I was not here yesterday. As I took the neighbor to the doctor appointment. How you doing this morning, Helen? Cindy's in here. She needs some prayers. She's losing her house of her place of residence that she's been for the last 27 years. And she's trying to get into an apartment. She's hoping that she can get in right away. And so let's help Cindy out and see what we can do for her. She said she lost her son in August, and it left her struggling, and she ended up being evicted. First time I ever struggled. I have till Monday evening to get out. It's a very extremely cruel world out there. Seems like when you're down, it gets even worse yet. Teresa, glad to see you here this morning. How are you feeling? Are you feeling any better or? I had a question today. I was going to wait till I got a few more people in here before I ask it. It has to do with blow-up dolls. I don't know if you're familiar with them. A lot of times you'll see them at a bachelor party for some reason. And they're also given out as gag gifts. Anyway, I noticed on one of the channels out there some time ago that one of the guys that's on there, and he's a divorcee, by the way, he had one sitting on a chair behind him. And I don't know if they call that one Judy or whatever it is. Just for the heck of it, I went on the internet and I thought, I'm just going to see what the heck is going on with that doll that he seems to be so prideful of, that he keeps it near him while he's on the internet. And then I found out a lot of times it's given as a gag gift. But some of them apparently have different equipment on them. And they're regular blow-up dolls, and they're blind, just like the one he's got. Now, I don't know what his came with or what it has. I know he keeps it. He seems to transmit out of his bedroom, is my understanding. And I guess that's the appropriate place to have one of those dolls if you're going to have it. I mean, I'm not so sure that I'd be happy with something like that when I'm looking in here and then would have it behind me over here. It'd be embarrassing. If they are a gag gift, I've never really seen anybody display them like on a venue like this or whatever. They also said it has to do Some people have them because they can take the place of a woman and they don't talk back. There was a description of it for it. I thought, I wonder just if that's what it is. But like I say, I've never seen anybody display it here on the internet with them, and I don't know why they would. I guess I would have never thought of something like that. But like I say, supposedly it's a gag gift. It my understanding is some of the dolls they don't sell here in the U.S. And they're considered a sex doll is what they're considered. But I don't know. I wouldn't want people to think that I preferred that over the real thing. It would be a little. I would think it would be embarrassing for that guy. But then everybody has their own view on things, and knowing that he's had a hard problem apparently with relationships. Perhaps that doll as it was described in the literature that I had to look at, as it can kind of replace your wife because it don't talk back and things like that. But so be it, I guess. Bearded says, "Cruel world. You ain't telling me anything. I don't know. Man, I went through all the eviction and everything else. This world does suck." And peaks from the Northeast, right? Bearded. So Tammy says prayers for you, Cindy, and I do hope that you're able to get into an apartment and a place to rent. When you're having tough times like that, and I guarantee you that is a tough time in my book. Somebody, is that Bill? Is he bothering you much, Cindy? I didn't see what he was doing, but Ren says hello, Ray, and everyone in the chat. And Teresa said maybe with some, it's only a girlfriend they can get. I was wondering, Teresa. I had never. I mean, I'm old. I'd be embarrassed if I had something like that on my show. I know it's a gag gift. In reality, that's usually what it is. But he seems to be proud of it, and I don't know. It takes a strange mind to, I guess, think that that's something. I don't know. And I can see why he might not have a significant other living there with something like that. I don't know how. That type of advertisement seems like he would tell any woman stay away. I mean, he wants something artificial instead of the real thing. Tells me that maybe he has problems with the real thing, and that's just an opinion. You can take it any way you want. It's just the way I see it. And if you notice in here, I said I was going to say it as I see it, and that's what my deal was today. Have any of you ever seen anybody display something like that in their home? I mean, is it normal? I don't know what's normal anymore because it wouldn't have been back in my day. Okay. And as far as a gag gift, yeah, I could see it being a gag gift. I just can't see it being having to be in a permanent resident in a bedroom. My opinion, and not my cup of tea. And I brought it up mainly because one of the people that likes to make remarks about me in general said that they think I'm creepy. And I never looked at myself in that part before. I've never been what you call a creeper or anything like that. And I was married a lot of years, and my wife never said anything like that to me. So I don't know where that person come up with it, but they're friends with this guy who's got the doll. And I'm thinking, who are they calling creepy? And where is their sense of reality? Is there something wrong with their sense of reality? But That goes without saying too. Bill was putting me down. I hope you slapped him down good, Cindy. Oh, heck. He must have subscribed to my show early on because he would have had to do it at least a day ahead of time to be able to get in there. But we won't let him bother us. Tanya says, "Good morning, Bone Crusher. Warriors have my coffee." Yep, I've got mine. As soon as it cools off a little better, I'll be able to drink it. Let's see what else we got here. You removed him good. I'm glad. Good riddance to him. Oh, heck. Well, Ren says, not here long, found my medicine. Miss Tom Selleck, good morning. I got a screenshot of it. Okay, great. Cindy said, after losing 2 sons in my home, I feel like I have lost everything. In reality, you probably have, and it may take a while to get back into the groove of things. When I lost my son, it's been quite a few years ago, and it was a long time before I could even say his name without crying. It was devastating, and I wouldn't want any parent to have to go through having to bury a child. I don't think we were here to do that. What else we got here this morning? They said the Dale's doing to help me. They never once tried to help me out, and they've never once had anything good to say about me from the day they discovered me out here. So that's all BS. Don't believe whoever said that's a lying sack of crap. So I don't know where they come up with. They think that they did everything for me. They did nothing. And all I did was stand between them and going after Michelle and John and little Harley. And when they started using Harley as a focal point, that was when I dismissed myself from their channel. That from that day on, it was downhill as far as being anything around them. And I did originally think that it was quite a channel, mainly because of their locker stuff. And one of the somebody that was a friend of Michelle told me to go back and look at some of the background, and I did that. And when I come back out from looking at that stuff, quite frankly, I was ashamed that I even was on his channel at one time and thought anything of him. It was very plain that wasn't a person I wanted to be around. Now, somebody else, if they want to be around him, that's fine. I just have a different type of what I expect out of people that I'm going to be associated with. I have no intention of ever being associated with somebody like that guy. No, none. So, and that's opinion. I should be able to have an opinion, my own opinion, and to get sued over it, that's all BS too. And we'll see it. We'll find out what in court what it's all going to be about. And I know he thought I'd probably be a pushover, and I won't be. We're gonna take this to the end. John, how you doing this morning, John? Good morning, you said. One thing, John, I'm not too sure what all happened over there with the court stuff. He sure has a lot of BS about it, but the way he presented it, it's hard for me to believe anything in there that he said. So no explanation needed. His tongue speaks for itself. Cindy said she cries all the time. Her oldest passed away November 11th, 2015, and and her only baby, 26 years, July 1st of this year. That's awful. I don't know if there's, like I said, when my son passed away, and it still bothers me to this day. And it was a couple of years before I could even say his name. I couldn't discuss him without getting teary-eyed. And of course, going through what I did with my wife the last few months was something I didn't, and I don't know if I'll ever get over the heartache of it. But I tell you what, it does help me feel, and that is, if the Lord comes knocking, I won't have any problem at all following him back. I look forward to that day. That's what I do, and that's helped me keep my sanity. Yeah, yeah, I seen that when I think actually Mary DeGroot is in her 70s, but he likes to go after older people with no doubt. I mean, he went after her. He did everything to go after Don, the former mayor of Russ, and he went after Marilyn, the woman that owned the warehouse. So he has that propensity to go after somebody. He thinks that he can overlord on them. And then when he went after Marilyn, one of her relatives was there, and he went after them too. So he loves to have those confrontations. And I don't know if you've seen his action. I think it was the Chiefland mayor had made the mistake. His wife had parked her car on the front property of that schoolhouse property out there. And they'd been doing it for years. They had no idea that it had been sold, or that the person wouldn't allow something going on. And there's just one thing after another, it seemed like. When people are looking for a reason to get upset with you or chase you down, or like now, these lawsuits are just coming bang, 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 one after another. There's a lot of them going. I think we're going to see a lot more of them in the coming year. At least he's threatened to start a lot more. And he has no, his own finances, I don't think are being touched that much, if at all. He's got ways to collecting money out there. He seems to be doing fine, getting the money to come in to pay for the lawyer. And there was a PayPal account. There was one directly back to the lawyer. And then whatnot, he's been saying that that's to help him out on his lawyer fees. So when you look at all these different things from a person that has 740,000 people out there in his YouTube channel, it's pretty easy to raise funding. I mean, I've seen him raise close to 30,000 in a couple hours on there when he was getting funding for those two aunts so that they could have a lawyer to go after Harley. And that was sickening in itself. Sometimes, there's a lot of families out there that don't have a whole lot. They haven't been lucky enough to have the right job or the right education or the right place to live, or a lot of things. And they raise children successfully. I was born poor. My parents had less than what John and Michelle have there in real terms. And there were 6 of us lived in a little 3-room house, and we lived fine. We loved each other. We learned all the lessons in life you need. Sometimes we all have a different idea of what basics are for our life, for living. But actually what it is what we make of it. Money is not an answer to everything. And if you're raised with a silver spoon in your mouth, you may not have what it takes to get through life when little things come along to upset you. Or you may be one of those that's overlording everybody around you. And we've seen that. We all have, where somebody has a little something and they're better than you, better than thou. I would rather have been poor, which I was, than born rich and not appreciate. And and that goes with everything around you. You become, I don't know, elite in your own mind is what happens a lot of times. That money can actually destroy you. Granted, I think you need enough so that you can keep food on the table and a roof over your head. If you want extras, yet sometimes you have to work harder or maybe more jobs or whatever it is, but it takes a lot. Life is cruel to us. I feel sorry for Cindy out there. She's lost her son. She lost two sons. The house that she's lived in for over 20 years, and now trying to get into another place to live. And it's going to be hard. One is probably finances. The other thing is, if you're removed from a house, your reputation is destroyed at the same time. And sometimes people won't look past the reason. In other words, it's just if you did that, you did it, and they don't want to know the reason. So I feel bad for Cindy. I don't. If I had a thing here, where I took donations or something, I'd certainly do something for you that way, Cindy. But I have never done that on my channel, and there's a lot of reason. It has to do with some of the different laws out there. Some of it has to do with taxes. You have to be very careful of funding. But if you have a PayPal account or something of that nature, or some way for somebody to send money, we can ask people to send it directly to you. And I would certainly do that on here for you. I don't want to touch my hands. I don't want one of these other people come in here down on me and say I collected and kept it. But if there's a way to send you something directly, then we'll put it on here, Cindy. And you have the power to put it on there, by the way, as a mod. It'll allow you to do that. So if you have, even if you set up a PO box so that somebody can help you out, you do that. I'll post it on here every day for you. So, and the post office box isn't hard to get from the post office, by the way. You might want to go on Lisa's channel and mention to her what happened as well. I know every time somebody's been in need, they've helped out, maybe not in large amounts, because most people that come into these channels, we're small channels, they don't have deep pockets. They're not real well off financially, a lot of. I don't, Helen, did you ever watch that video that was part of, I think it was filmed there in their office when that officer said, do you really want to have her charged for doing that? And Hale's eyes kind of got big. He said, yes, I do. And that was for, he's charged her with assault. And there's an official arrest record about that with that sheriff's department. She comes up to his shoulders. She's a big, mean-spirited woman, right? Well, unfortunately, that mean-spirited woman, I don't know if it was a stroke that she had or a heart attack, but she was having to take therapy for quite a while, physical therapy to get around. And I've never heard from her since she resigned from City Hall. So, she said, I couldn't have you do that. All I need is big prayers right now. prayers will help, Cindy, but money helps as well. You can't get a place to live without financing of some kind. It just doesn't work. There's very few people out there that would offer you something for free, especially when it comes to housing. But like I say, if you get a post office box or something, I would gladly post it on here for you. Linda said she lost her son September 12th, 2024. Yeah, my son's been dead, I think, over 20 years now, and I haven't got over it. It bothers me to this day, and I'll get to meet him, in the next life, and which is Helen Highwater said stroke. So okay, so Mary DeGroot had a stroke. Is what happened. She has a neighbor that comes in here once in a while. Yeah, John says that she had a stroke and she's still using a walker. So, chances are it's going to be the rest of her life then. Yeah, I had a stroke when I was 64, and that kind of was the thing that made me. I retired about 7 months later after that stroke. I didn't want to take a chance, and it was my right side, and so when I get tired, it droops more here than on the other side. The way those two take such pleasure in others' misfortune is disgusting. Yeah. Well, they take pleasure in calling every little thing out, and everybody that's not in their channel donating money to them. They call you up if you donate money, and they go after you if you don't donate money. They're after you. Just say a couple of words that they don't like. But if you do donate, they pat you on the back during the chat. And a lot of times when they get on there and get on a rock and roll, and that thing will just, it's like a one-armed bandit. That's what it reminds me of when I see that thing rolling that fast. All right, Cindy. I think that's your best bet. It's instant. A lot of times people will throw a couple bucks, and it's also a way of doing it without having somebody breathing down your neck over any other legalities or something to that sort. Helen says her friend lost both her sons. She was coming home from work and was stopped by a car wreck. She got out to look, and it was her two sons. Neither survived. Wow. That would be that is miserable. And Tanya said that single-handedly ruined Otter Creek with his drama. I guess, I don't know for sure, but it seemed like some of them have said they like it. Some didn't, and I don't blame them for not wanting outsiders to make comments about their town, whether it's good or bad. They just wanted to be left alone. They didn't want anybody in there to be for or against. They just wanted it left alone. And a lot of small towns are that way. I have had a few people come on and thank me for being some of the things I said about Otter Creek. I think going there accusing people of being sellers of illicit things. And, a lot of names were called out there. When I had one of my videos taken down, he had mentioned how he felt about Otter Creek and how much better the place he lived in Ohio was. And this is a guy that was telling everybody in Otter Creek how well he was going to be able to take care of them. They would, all of a sudden get money all of a sudden, teach him how to make money. And that he was a good thing for him. And to me, he went after his neighbors right off the bat. And he hasn't ever backed off from that. And they think they're, the cock of the walk, if you want to put it in a certain way. Here they come into that little town. Essentially, they turned the board upside down, was able to influence the election. They get away with calling people names. Most small towns, it's pretty hard to get away with it because so many people are related in one way or the other. But they have a person on there that they handyman, I guess he is, that's related to one of them that he's after, that he's going to sue. So, and he come on his channel and said, blood don't mean anything. We're friends. So, this is a guy that if he's mad at you, it doesn't matter if you could be his brother or sister or whatever. And it wouldn't matter. And his family being in that, I'm talking about a wife and kids in that lawsuit for 10 years over marital problems, the divorce itself, and then taking care of the children. And you're talking about a guy when he left, he took money from his children's account that was put in the account by the mother's father. I don't understand it. And I know it was asked back in the divorce because I looked at the divorce paper, but was never awarded. And I have no idea why not. There was no explanation, and courts don't always explain things. And to this day, I think the only one that may have got anything at all would be the oldest child. So, and that's all on paperwork. I mean, you can go look that stuff up if you want to. It's open records for the divorce and all the things that went around it, including a counselor that submitted paperwork to the judge. So I don't care what those yo-yos think about me. When I first saw it, it made me pretty heartsick. And I just said I didn't want nothing to do with them after that. And I did try to be a barrier between them and John and Michelle and Harley. And I found out that don't work too well. And he'll tell you on his show what he thinks of people that are on one of our channels out here where we're being sued. And if you say the wrong thing, he's going to include you or go after you. I mean, he makes that plain, including Michelle's witnesses. He said what he was going to do. He's going to record it. And if there's something he can sue him about, he's going to sue him. The people that are going to be witnesses at the Ohio PO. Now, you tell me, is that fair? Is that right? Because I thought you couldn't tamper with witnesses. It's just a question. It's something I don't know the answer to. Let's see. Little Marla, I forgot to say hi to Marla in there. I was probably talking and not paying attention. And here I'm trying to make sure that everybody here gets to speak their piece. Oh, heck. Yes, Cindy said all my prayers to all who've lost their loved ones, and I love you all so much. Thank you, Cindy. Oh, heck. Mrs. Tom Selleck says, I'm thinking I should change my name back to Funny Sonny. Uh, uh, you're always a pleasure to have in here, Marla. Lynn said, I wonder if why there's so much hate in that person's heart. I think it starts out with money and also power. And the two don't always work too well. Not everybody can handle that combination. And at this point, he's got both. And with that power, because he's got so many subs, that's where the power comes from, and the money too. He wants to overlord, I believe. Most of this is my opinion, and other people might have different ideas of it or stack it different than I do. When you have an abundance of money and the power that it'll buy, it changes your basic character that people see. It may have always been there, but it comes out it's manifested in a different way out there for other people. And they have the tendency to walk right over the top of you. He's not the only one out there like it. You see it more in business than you do anything else. Yeah, Marta said Helen has gifted Bearded a vehicle, and all his need is to get him after a tune-up. So, Miss Tom Selleck said, I was trying a new name and don't think it's going over too well. Well, when you change your name, sometimes people don't know who it is. It takes a while for everybody to figure out who you really are. That's what happens. You can always change back and see if it makes a difference. See, if I put my real name up there, which is Bone Break, by the way, people would think that's stranger than Bone Crusher. So. Over the years, my name has drawn a lot of different nicknames out of it. And Bone Crusher was one of my got from being in construction all my life. So in one way or the other, construction, let's put it that way. I wore a lot of different hats over the years. Let's see. Courtney, good morning. Tanya says that she likes your name as Mrs. Tom Selleck. So there you go. You got somebody in the chat that says they like it. Marla says, I find your name funny, Mrs. Tom Selleck. Oh, heck, who we got? John, that was very kind of you, Helen. It was, wasn't it? When you think there was a guy there that had all kinds of money, and he baited Bearded during a chat and went like this to dangle a car and told him what he had to do to get it. He left. Essentially what he did is he told John he was going to get a car, and he had to go talk to Dave about it. So he left Dave, Super Dave, with the bag with nothing in it. So Beard is trying to talk to Dave. Dave don't know what's going on because it was never part of any conversation he had. Reminds you of, he used to come in the chats and he'd give some money in. And then he started berating other people because they weren't doing the same thing. He said, well, he's willing to do it, but he's the only one doing it. Why isn't everybody else doing it? Well, I can tell him why. most people don't have the extra funding, and they can't. Here's a guy that it's a game with him, and he was giving all his money out. It's just his thing, and I think once you understand it, you don't get drawn in, and it's not going to bother you as much. You just have to realize he may say something that he's going to do, but it doesn't mean he's going to carry it out. If he says he's going to give you something and you have it in your hand, then you can believe it. And he has helped several channels out there. They were able to get some funding they needed, which is all fine and dandy. But he also made more enemies out there, I think, because he got in the habit of attacking people in the chats, and he got away with it because he had given so many people memberships in those same channels. I think it was wrong for that whole thing to come out. Just my opinion again. Lucinda says, there's a lot of people wish that was their name. Selig is a famous person, and he sure was I think the ladies liked him immensely. He's a success no matter where he goes on the shows. Bearded that day that they made the promises, he did donate that day. And, you should never have to, I think it's wrong for somebody to come in that obviously had finances like, it's, what do you put on there? Only me or something like that. We're talking about David Rickards. And then shame somebody else for not being able to do it. There's a lot of ways to handle things like that. And by him, he didn't have to be mean-spirited, and that's what it really was. And it might be nothing more than maybe he was drinking that night. Sometimes he sounds like maybe there's a problem going on when he's in the chat. And I don't know how much he does now. I haven't seen too much of him out there. I don't know if he's backed way off or went to the other side or any of that. It wasn't worth my time to, interface with him. I don't have any skin in the game with him on any of the channels. Absolutely. I put my opinion out there and what I thought he was doing, and I still think I was right about, why he was doing things like that. It's just a personality trait. Let's see. Yeah, Helen says, I don't have a lot of money, but I can find other ways to help. Yeah, that's what's important. What you do over your lifetime shows your character. And like I say, shaming somebody into doing something that they don't want to do is no way to get things done. It just isn't. Yeah, Linda said, there isn't enough money in the world that could make me act like that. Yeah. And Bearded said he did donate in Guapo's channel. I gave him $2, so they're all shut up. The thing of it is that I'm sure Guapo was probably embarrassed for somebody to come on there and try to shame the people who've been around him all these years into giving. But I just don't know really what all went on there, other than I seen it coming after I'd seen all the remarks he was doing. And I tried to put a warning out there, and I did get attacked for it, but we were able to talk through it with the people involved. I understand what money does to somebody, and I really don't hold it against them when, in a way, they're being bought off. It happens, and most actually, I think they come out better on the other side. Uh, Mainly, I think they learn certain lessons in it, and maybe don't fall quite as hard as some others when they're getting gifts. You know, businessmen, they look at it from all angles, and a lot of times they'll play it to get the most. I mean, you're not in business to go broke, that's for sure. Uh, but you know, the people that are involved with all that, I have a lot of respect for them. I think they're good business people, and I think they're honest. It's hard to turn down cash. Oh, yeah, Meredith, actually, uh, I know that it hurts the way things went down on Guapo's channel, but I can tell you this: he gives more away than probably any channel in real terms, and he is a businessman, and he's going to do what he has to keep the business going. And he's the type, with the charisma he's got and his big heart, he will always bounce back. You know, this is a guy that's building a business, and he could have well used the money that he paid his mother's house off with for the business to promote it and make it grow bigger quicker. Instead, he was showing his mother how much he loved her and how grateful he was. And he is the only child. And the minute he paid that house off, I completely changed my mind about him. And it's because he has an honest to goodness big heart. He would have never done that, no matter what it was, if he was trying to build business first. And when I see the amounts that he gives away, is huge. And he's given this stuff that he's giving away now without somebody paying him to do it. He does love to give stuff to people. He appreciates the way they feel about it. And if you're around his channel enough, you're going to be able to participate in some of those things. I don't want to really promote anybody overly amount. I'm just telling you my opinion at the time. We've got a lot of people out there that step over the line, and once they get their feet burnt, they step right back and get the heck out of there. So we have to forgive some people that we've been upset with sometimes. Yeah, I understand. It's just it's all amount of how a person explains it. It really is. Uh, Cindy said prayers are more important today for these applications. Prayer can do a lot of things. Over the years, my wife and I, we prayed for different things, for ourselves, for others, for our kids, sometimes for the whole world when we want to see something a little different out there. Yeah, you're right about some things, Bearded. When you brag about gifts, different times, in that particular way, then your reward is already given at that point. Yeah, I understand, Bearded. With me, it's easier for me to step back and say it doesn't bother me that much because I really don't have a lot of skin in the game with any one of those people. I've been around business long enough. I know the influence of money is not always a good thing. And it will bend you in different ways that you never thought it would. And each of us, we have to have our own perspective on things. And we live in a country where we're able to do that. It's a good thing, not a bad thing, that we have that ability to do that. It's probably unfair for me to judge some of these people out there because I had reached a point before I retired. It wasn't worth it for me to go working and for the purpose of money. And once I got sick, my wife and I thought we wanted to somehow have retirement together where we could enjoy things. It was more important than money. Let's put it that way. The money I was making at the time was good money. And it's very hard not to just stay there and work until you can no longer work anymore. But the good Lord gave me that stroke to think about. And I notified the company that I was all done. And 7 months later, they threw one hell of a party for me, and all the benefits that go with it. And I'm telling you, it was quite a deal. I was flabbergasted about everything they did for me, and it was a good decision. The president of the company calls me every year since I retired, and I talked to him just a few weeks ago. So. They've always been appreciative and remembered me. And I was pretty old when I went to work for them. So that relationship lasted a long time. When you're giving, the less you have means more the gift. What I'm saying is, a lot of people give, out of their heart. And whether it's $1 or a dime, it probably is more percentage of their income than what this other guy was that was given $10,000, $15,000 away to crack, any one night. He apparently has more money than what he knows to do with, and it's a game with him. It's nothing more than playing a game of Monopoly or something like that. We go buy the the Powerball tickets and things like that. It's similar to something like that. Only thing is he's buying influence with his money. And if he was a businessman, and I'm assuming he was, from what I've heard, okay, he had a lot of power over a lot of people because of the amount of people that work for him. When you retire, you no longer have that power. So how do you gain it back? Well, you can do it with gifts like in here. And everyone here was able to see how it worked out because what the heck? They're getting free money and they think the guy's okay. And he is for that amount of time. He gave him something, but he expected something too. There were strings attached. And a lot of them were hidden until he needed them. And then you stir the pot, but you go after somebody in the chat and you're be cruel with them. And all these people who got the free membership, they're happy with the guy and they say, well, let him have a little bit of leeway. So, and that was an easy way, cheap way to gain influence. Didn't cost him hardly anything. It was a drop in a bucket. Think about how people would think of the same guy, okay? Instead of saying anything negative at all in a chat, what if he would give these gifts out, okay? And it wouldn't matter where he got credit for them or not, just gave them out, but didn't say anything negative. And people would love him. They wouldn't be mad at him. And he would have a natural influence. And he would feel better about himself. He honestly would feel better if we would act with human decency. That's all he's got to do. And the heck of it is, he would be forgiven overnight just by coming back and saying, "Look, I had it all wrong, and I'm gonna write it. I'm gonna fix it." And that same money that he used and then used his negative influence, if he used positive instead of negative, overnight he would be a hero. He'd be almost like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, where everybody loved him. And you got Christmas coming up. Why not? Oh, heck. Oh, where are we going here? Helen said, Beer, did Lisa give you her email? Lisa's been getting a lot of email lately, so it might take her a while to answer back. She's got that Christmas thing going, and a lot of people that are buying the gifts have to email her to let them know that they actually got it. It was one way to get around where people were saying they were going to purchase it. They take it down. She had it stay up there, and she takes it down when she's notified by the person himself. So it was the only way they could keep something up there for the kids. It was just an explanation of what's going on there. So you don't think you're being forgotten on the emails, because she's been inundated with emails here in the last month. You have to get into her chat. Let's see, what is this? Tonight's Friday, but tomorrow get into her chat and say, "Hey, Lisa," put a whole bunch of exclamation marks up there or something, get her attention, or stop signs, do that. And then ask her, say, "Hey, look, did you get my email? And here's what I want." Yeah, be good to her. She's being good. Matter of fact, she's being so good that she's inundated to the point where she can't answer people back right now sometimes. So give her a little bit of leeway. Cindy said she understands she's not tech savvy. I haven't had a class or anything in over 16 years. Actually, more like 17, because I quit taking any classes when I was working before I retired, a year before I retired. I know how you feel, Beard. I had to get coached through that PayPal stuff. Yeah, a long time ago, I had a PayPal, and I think I can't remember why. I think I tried to cancel it, and I keep getting a lot of literature or emails from them. Every time there's a policy change or something like that, but I'd have to go back and redo the account, I think, to get involved with the PayPal thing again. Oh, what the heck we got? Sylvia says, "Hi, Ray." How you doing, Sylvia? I'm glad you're in here. Sylvia's saying hi to everybody out there. So for those you can't see the chat, Sylvia's in here. Oh, heck. John, how are you? Are you going to have a big dinner and all kinds of stuff there for Christmas? Yeah, Cindy, I'm not too sure how to use my PayPal. I used it a long time ago, and and when I say a long time ago, it's sometime around when I retired. Stacy said, "Good morning, Uncle Ray." Good morning, Stacy. Did you stay up all night last night, Stacy? Or are you still up? I came on there talking about that blow-up doll. Have you guys ever seen somebody display them on their channel like that? I didn't go back in the chat and see if you guys answered that or not. I was just curious. I don't know what makes up somebody to do that kind of stuff. It's when I looked into the put a search out to see what was going on with that darn thing. They just said it's mainly a gag gift, but there are some that have some attributes on them. But I've never seen anybody display one on their channel and be right behind them, sitting in a chair. And then that one day, the legs are up in the air and beside the bed. He transmits up from his bedroom, I'm assuming. But what kind of a mind is that? I was kind of curious who does it, or have you seen other people do that, or is it something that's well known or something? Am I way out of the loop on this crap? I know when my wife and I got married, nobody sent me anything like that. My wife would have killed me probably, but I didn't know how you guys feel about it. Things have changed so much since I grew up that I was just curious. That's all. John said he bought a ham to put in the oven. Haven't figured out anything else except some sort of ziti and vegetables for Harley. I do have a small ham, like a cut, not the bone part of it, in the refrigerator. But I was lucky. My neighbor invited me to Christmas dinner, and I took her up on it. She's got a big family. They're all good people. There'll be there'll be 4 generations over there tomorrow. Christmas. And an outsider, me. Ray, there is something seriously wrong with that man. Yeah, I was curious about it because at first when I seen that back there, I didn't know exactly what was going on there. And then it dawned on me, years ago, there were such a thing on there. They were advertised in different magazines. So I'm always curious anyway, behind times. And I put a thing out there asking about these blow-up dolls that have blonde hair. And here a whole bunch of them came up on there. And they're cheap. They're like, I don't know, anywhere from $9.95 to, maybe $30, depending. There's a lot of different things that you can do with these dolls, just telling you. But when I seen that one, and it dawned on me that one day when I was looking at his channel there, it was beside the bed with the legs sticking up in the air. And I didn't know if he was doing that as a joke or if they have some kind of a running joke on his show or what they do. I know that some people have like mascots and things like that so that they can talk about it. He's never been interesting enough for me to spend over a couple minutes just to see who might be in his chat. Every once in a while I get nailed out there. So I take a few minutes and see if there's somebody there that's, in one of those moods or whatever they are. I noticed that doll is called a blow-up doll. And there was a thing about it can be better than a wife because it don't talk back and something else. I don't know what all was on there, but I thought that's more like a 12-year-old or something would think of. And that's my opinion. Right, I think that doll is a parody of the one at the schoolhouse of one of the Marilyn Raby. I'll be darned. Well, since it's, they used to have another name for the blow-up doll. It was called a sex doll, and it was a gag gift. But I can't imagine how they would think of that being a parody of Marilyn Raby. It just don't make sense, but maybe he has a fixation on old people. I don't know. Oh, I had. And Tanya says she's going to have ham as well. Ham is always good. Check this out, man. I think that Blow Up Doll is my own opinion. Is a parody of the Marilyn Raby, the one in Schoolhouse. I really do. I think it's a joke off that. It could, you know what? Now that you say that, I don't doubt it. It probably is because they made a lot of fun about Marilyn. She was a no nonsense person, and I don't think she was open to many jokes with that guy. Scampy said there's son's in-laws invited her to go to their house Christmas, so kind of them, and it's fun. And my family does Christmas Eve. Oh, let's see. Since are you able to put my Cash App tag on the chat? I am tech stupid. Yeah, Tanya, you said that Stacy, you were on overload right now. You've been feeling it. I know you can't stop, but please try to put your feet up. That's good advice. Stacy said, Cindy, can you message it to me? And Ray, is it okay to do so? Yes, it is okay to do so, Stacy. Nicole says, good morning, Ray, and everyone in the chat. Happy Friday. Anyone have any fun plans for tonight? Going out dancing, Ray? Yeah, I can't imagine going out dancing, really. It'd be hard. Let's put it that way. I'm just getting my feet on the ground. Is the way it's going on, and it sounds, kind of. I mean, years ago, I used to love to go out and dance and do things, and of course, I've been with my wife so many years that it would be hard for me to hold somebody on a dance floor. It would have to be rock and roll, and we'd really have to be rocking where we. Good morning, Ray, everyone. Cindy said, okay, Stacy. And John Cook says, hi, Nicole. And yeah, I didn't see you in here, but hi, Nicole. Hey, Ray, I put a comment on Facebook that people are always welcome at my place for Christmas. So those knuckleheads obliged. I haven't checked it as of late. I got a lot of offers. We'll put in there that you're looking for a sugar mama, bearded, and you might get some offers as well. They'll fall in love with your puppies. That's for sure. Thinking more like the electric slide, Ray. Thanks. Yeah, well, you got to be careful when you answer a door when you got to walk clear downstairs. I'm talking to Bearded there in the chat. I've got to do here in the next year, I think, is I'm going to redo my system I had out in the garage where I was singing in that far corner over there, and get set up a little better. I haven't found a venue either where I can put it on YouTube without getting struck. It's gotten stricter than it used to be, and you can buy the rights to the song to put it on there, but most of them retain the advertisement. And then what I've been doing up until YouTube said no more, I had been allowing whoever claimed the song to do the advertisement on my channel. And that's why you've seen advertisement quite a bit on there. It was a trade-off. Just I'd put something up there for, and they were up to reap the benefits. And then, but now that part is completely gone. My songs are out all over the internet, but I have no rights at all to them, no matter what it is. A while back, I'd taken some down, and it took me longer to get them down than it did to put them up in the first place. Because once they laid claim to them, they wanted them. Yeah, I said no. So, what it was, the songs weren't that great, and that's why I was taking them down. Oh, and there's a few out there where I did duets, and obviously they're kind of a 50-50 song at that point. So, Lucinda said, "I just want the sugar, not the mama or daddy." Oh, heck. Always wondered, when there's two people get together, one is, let's say, 20 and the other one's 50 or 60, what they would have in common. I know if I was 20 and there was a woman in the room that was 30, I thought that was way too old for me. I mean, just thinking personally. But I can't imagine being 20 and looking at somebody 60. And then when you get to my age, I can't imagine anybody looking at all anyway. It wouldn't matter how old they are. The older you get, the more independent you are. And it's harder to mold, I think. Yeah, you can be good friends, but I don't know if it'd ever go beyond that. And I guess I never thought about it in anybody like that. And the dancing part, I guess I never gave that much of a thought either. I think maybe my wife and I were so infatuated with each other. When we got to a certain point, we just, I don't know. We never thought about anything else other than each other, as far as I know. I mean, who knows? All I can tell you is I was pretty happy with the way things were, and it's hard to think of anything else. It just is. Noreen says it's a great voice for us to hear. Barrett says when he was in high school, this girl in her late 20s hit on me in the elevator at a convalescent home. We were working out together, loving in and out in an elevator. Holy mackerel, Lucinda. My mother died. She was in her 50s, mid 50s. My dad was almost 60. And there was a woman that lived not too far from the house, and she was chasing him all over. And she was only in her 30s, early 30s, I guess. Dad kind of entertained the thought, and then he thought better of it. But he ended up, my stepmother was Cherokee, and that's who he ended up marrying. And she was 5 years younger than him, I think, something like that. And she's still going. I mean, she's in a nursing home, but She, she may live forever. She might outlive me by a bunch. I don't know. Uh, oh, shoot. My goodness. That's a pretty good story, Lucinda. Oh, man. Wow. Your baby sister is 28 years younger than you. My, I have one brother that's 20 years and a week uh, younger than I am. I already had one child. I'd been married and had one child and another one on the way when my brother was born. When I was on my way back from Washington State after I got discharged from service, uh, I got about halfway home and he was born during that time. And then I have a stepbrother. He is, I think he's probably 30 years younger than I am, somewhere in there, 25 or 30 years younger than I am. He's a good guy. He really is. He was a welcome addition into the family. Wow. It's a good thing your sister was there to pick the pieces up, Lucinda. Cindy, last year you had a 30-year-old hitting on you hard. I just looked at him and told him was stupid for hitting on a 56-year-old lady. Lucinda, you're younger than my youngest child. Oh, if you and I went out dancing, we'd make everybody sit up or stand up and listen to us and watch us. Probably they wonder which one of us was the worst off. Stacy said prayers to your family, Cindy. I hope things turn out for you, Cindy. Kind of quieted down in here a little bit. Wow. Yeah, my youngest brother, since we didn't grow up together and I lived in another state while he was growing up, we didn't have the same type of relationship like brothers normally would have because he was in between my two sons. It was more like cousins or something. It's never. It seems like there's a different rapport because of the generational difference. I figure generations are about 10 years apart. Everybody, and when there's 20 years, it's almost like a different world. The way you're brought up and even though you have the same parents, the as a parent gets older, they raise children a little different as well because they've learned from the ones that came before, and you all end up with different personalities over those years. And part of it's because of the parents, and part of it's because of the people you grow up around, the different attitudes and stuff. Cindy, you're sure welcome to the prayers and anything we can bring to you. Well, I'm about wound down. I think. How you doing there, John? I'm thinking about backing out of here for this morning. Tomorrow's Saturday. We'll try to get something going, and maybe I'll have something funny I can talk about, or maybe one of you will. We'll post something about so that we can help Cindy out tomorrow. We'll try to get it into our chat here. Nikki, she got here too late. We can have your say. I'll give it 5 minutes. Everybody gets a chance. Oh, let's see. You're going to watch the replay? Okay. Well, you can. I'll give you the next 5 minutes if you want to get on here and say something. We all get on there a little bit and try to embarrass ourselves, or we do something to talk. So it's no problem. One thing I forgot to mention, we got snow here. So I ended up with about 1.5 inches, I think. It came down hard when it came, and then just real light. So I still got to get that off of my back deck, and I'll make a path for the pup out there. Oh. You lost your internet for a few minutes, Helen? I don't know if it was, well, might have been during a snowstorm. I was going to tell you, I think I lost mine. It'd go in and out a couple of times, but nothing permanent. That little circle appeared on it for a few times. Yeah. Okay, Tanya. Tanya, you having all the fictions for Christmas and getting the house full? John, you're going to be super famous with all the pictures and films, videos that's been taken. There isn't anybody on this planet that isn't going to know you. I think you might be able to put some of it to work for you and make some money. Everybody's going to know who you are, John. And I noticed somebody was cleaning the property up across from you. I think it finally dawned on them when they're trying to tear you up about the looks of your property. And of course, they get away with a lot of it because there's a fence there. They can say anything they want about it and people will believe it. But they can see his property, and it was looking like a real dump for the city. And I just wonder if somebody started dumping on there and that's why they cleaned it up. Did they ever pick that tree up that came down during the hurricane? Oh my. It says that he's famous on all your videos, and just like I am, bearded. That's a good idea, Nikki, about the posting educational facts on the gate door. Oh, sounds great. I agree with you, John. I I didn't think they were ever going to do anything with it again because they had that other one going, and that other one I don't see is where it's doing much. I I think they may have wore out the welcome mat for those two places. Uh, it don't make sense if you listen to the talk and the rhetoric that's going on. Do you think it's more like a 4-year-old playing with himself out there in the yard? I mean, and I'm not talking about. Uh, I'm talking about playing with the toys out there. And it's obvious that those things are well worn out, that they're junk. I don't, they bought. I don't think they bought anything there. They probably went dumpster diving to get most of it. But he talks to himself all the time, like a kid that's never had a friend. You ever notice that? Now, not that being that as a derogatory thing. I'm just giving you an observation that seems that way. You got to tell it like it is. That's for sure. I just don't know why they can knock property around there down when that property looks worse than anything around them. To me, it don't make sense. How can you? I don't know. The only thing I can say is they must have blinders on when they're talking because they can't see what they're setting on or what they're owning. I guess he's got more than he can take care of, and even with his hired hand out there that has a problem. Let's see, what was his nickname? Knucklehead. He had that before he was on the internet, my understanding. There's something squirrely there, I think. Opinion, of course. Yeah, I just wonder if the guy down at the schoolhouse, bearded, was maybe he threw it in the dumpster, and then the mayor of Tubetown picked it up and absconded with it and took it back to the that jungle and tried to do something with it to make it look good. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, I got to thinking that guy there, he was doing a breakdown on John and Michelle's property. And I'm thinking, that guy, his math, he was talking about the town clerk used to be scary with her math. He's just as bad. I'm surprised that he can't add up. By the time he gets done, he's almost out of the game because when he adds the negatives in there, then he gets down to a point where it's almost a giveaway or somebody's got to give it to him. And he's that way in his lockers as well. When he counts backwards, he's missing the end of the game. His math is all off. You think there's maybe some dyslexic things going on there? Could be. Never know. It's a possibility. We probably never will know. Mo Magic, I see you're in here. Wanting to know why Nine Chins is always found. All right. Well, listen, we all had a little bit of fun today, and we didn't tear anybody up too bad. And none of us are blind, and we're all listening to each other. And so that's a good sign that we're wide awake and we're not senile. So with all that, I want to say goodbye this morning, and I'll do everything I can to come back tomorrow on here. And maybe we can have some stories, good stories, bad stories. Well, we'll leave the bad stories for another day, maybe. Maybe we can talk about our Christmas plans, and don't forget, tell Gabe he's really got to get some things going for entertainment in the spring out there, because when I come down there, I want to make sure there's a red carpet somewhere so I can step out of my truck onto that red carpet, and I want to see what the menu is. I'm an eater. I eat a lot of food, so cakes, pie, all those things. Those are all I'm looking forward to. Homemade ice cream. I love homemade ice cream, and I'll even help you make that. I'll plug the plug in on that electric ice cream maker. I'm kidding about all of it, but what I'm trying to do is get Gabe out there. If we can keep him from having an accident, he's messed up his foot, I guess, and you might have to pray for Gabe so that he can get out there and walk around. It might make it a little hard for him to work when you can't stand up. It can make it tougher than heck. I hope maybe we all should pray for Gabe, because I know that seriously, he did get hurt yesterday. So if you can help him get back on his feet, that'd be a great thing. And with that, I better get off from here. I'm going to trip over my tongue. Right here.